I think Michael Jackson is the best ever entertainer. I think the conversations over the years, I think we can probably put it to bed now. I really do. Not because Michael has a biopic coming out, in the year of 2026, but it's just I've had this thought and this belief years ago that the influence of Michael Jackson is just is too much. It goes in different eras. It affects different people at different ages. Kids could be as young as 4 or 5. Parents can show Michael Jackson videos to them and they're glued to it. They're glued to the performances, the influence of other artists that Michael has had an effect on. We've seen it. And I just think it's good to try and aim, right, for getting to a certain level. It's good to try and push in whatever you're doing. But I just think Michael was ahead of the game. It's just simple as that. And it's no harm to say, oh, but Michael was the guy and others haven't reached it, because Michael was a different person. Like, he was different when it came to entertaining, crowd control. He was basically an MC, like in the sense of controlling an audience, right? He was basically a dancer who danced as good as the best dancers out there, sung in ways where you knew exactly, okay, that's Mike. You know the way he holds his melodies. He could make videos that were like movies. So many things that people have attempted to do after him. Now, there were always artists that were before him that he, was inspired by. He was inspired by James Brown, inspired by people, like Jackie Wilson. But in terms of being able to take from some of the best and mold his style and still be unique in his own right, and then have influence going forward on other artists since till today, then you can put somebody, right? You can put somebody down, sit them down, and ask them in any country of the world, I believe, who is Michael Jackson? And people will tell you who Michael Jackson is. It doesn't matter what language they speak. The influence of that guy was too much. And now you had to be of a certain age group. You had to be of a certain time to remember the moments that Michael had and the domination that he had when it came to fanfare, media interest, and then obviously music, and the influence that he had on music of all genres. He had music where rappers, rock stars, country artists, pop artists, it doesn't matter where or who you were, Michael was respected. Now, there were always moments where you can have, people having their opinions on the type of music he may have done at different moments, different attempts at trying different styles, but he was in a class of his own. He had a style that was not replicated. He had a style at that time that people weren't doing like him, whether it's a dress sense, whether it's a hairstyle, whether it's a performance, whether it's how he delivered vocally on records. Nobody was doing it like him. People were adopting and copying and taking things that he had already made popular. And if an artist is able to do that till today, he's the best, or she's the best. Whoever that is the best. But on this occasion, I think we need to just accept that Michael is the best. And maybe as long as the world spins, you just may not get anybody as influential or as good as how he was. You can't come into a stadium, Super Bowl performance, if you know, you know, all those years ago, in 93, I believe it was, and turn and look at one area of the audience for 3 minutes and people are still waiting for him to perform and at the edge of their seats, screaming. He makes another move and they're going crazy. Like, he had the ability to control crowds with charisma, with showmanship, with style, you know, performance, caring about performing, caring about performing in ways where he wants to make it memorable, doing things in the performances that are synonymous with Mike. Like, how do you have performances and moves and styles that are synonymous just to you? I've not seen that before. You've had Elvis in the past, you know, with that arm movement going around and, you know, having his way as well with the crowd. And he was close, but I don't think he was as influential, you know? And I believe the conversation now has to get to a point of, is there even any person that is going to be as close? The conversation should just be that, okay, Mike was Mike, but is there any point in even having somebody trying to get to that point? Because to even be an artist who is able to just make music, do well, do musically well, you know, numbers wise, sell, you know, millions, I believe that is fine. I believe that is more than fine, because only a few percentage of people are able to do that. So to try and push to Mike's level, you can try, but I don't believe you're going to topple his performance, his ability to be the best at dancing, singing, as well as making the impact he made on people and the media. I don't think, whether the media were positive or negative, and we know what the media was if you grew up in a certain era, right? But his influence is too far, it's too big, and it's still till today. And I believe as long as this world turns, it will continue. It will continue. It doesn't matter what era we're in, Mike is spoken about. You know, and with social media today, it's become even more apparent that he is influential. You know, so you've just got to look through different moments and go back and then look at what people are doing today, you know, and compare. You know, he had music where the premiere of his videos, I spoke to people in my family, I've spoken to my mum, and I'm based in London. And the effect that that guy had when a music video was supposed to come out. I remember Bad, when she told me about when Bad came out. Just before the pandemonium, the what is he gonna be looking like? What is he gonna be, you know, sounding like? Well, this song, like, it was crazy. Nobody has that today to that level. Nobody makes people faint, literally faint, pass out, carried out of the arena, missed your concert. You've missed it now. You know, you came in with the right intentions, but now you've missed it. You know, you may have passed out in the first 20 minutes, an hour, whatever, but you've missed it. Like, he makes you miss concerts while you're there. So I just think that Mike was a different level. And I believe people know this. I think artists of yesteryear, artists currently know the influence that he's had on R&B artists, pop artists. We know who they are. He's at a different level. And I think the conversation should now be ended about who can get close to him or who is better than him. We've had our ones over the years, like I say. We've had our James Browns, you know, Elvises. Tina Turner is up there. She's in the conversation, you know. But in terms of being able to influence people, not just from performance, but just in general, how people are influenced by Mike, from kids to adults, is too much. It's too much. He's the best ever, I believe. He has too much influence, too much effect on people from a musical standpoint. And that's what I'm focusing on, just the music aspect of Mike. Because I think that's what at least he should be looked at, and only really should be looked at from that perspective, music.